I'm going to assume we're live because, hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the unMadeGaming channel. This is Blaze of Glory. I am not doing Mike's Arise Minion thing because I just can't do it like you can. We are here today with episode 3 of Blaze of Glory Holes, and we're going to go ahead and get started. The donation goal that usually is on screen, guys, is not there right now. I don't have the credentials to be able to display it, so sorry about that. We're running a little bit late, so we're gonna go as long as we possibly can, up to that 2-hour mark. If we can't do that, then we'll start early. Anyways, yes, thanks Mike for showing up live in the channel. Thanks, dude. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say. Do you guys want to say something?
I would like to send a different message to Mike.
Please.
Fuck you.
Tweet wars of 2019.
That's my only message to Mike.
Now.
But the donations are still going, he says.
Oh, time to film some porn.
Time to what? Wait, what? What?
We're on his channel.
It's our channel now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, I'm responsible here, guys. I'm supposed to be the adult. Give me a break. All right, guys. Without further ado, if you are also seeing Mike's little GIF on screen, that's courtesy of one McLocan there. So good times. Anyways,
Also, if you guys enjoyed the tweet about the glory hole, not Mike's. Love you too, Mike. You guys asked me to be on these fucking shows.
I can't even.
Then you guys are like, "Hey, let's make the tweet," and I was like, "It's going to be about glory holes. Let's do it."
I'm
I mean, this is
surprised
that's what.
as it was, to be honest.
Yeah.
It had to be.
Very
man.
tasteful of mine.
All right,
Anyway.
guys.
There's another
Anyways,
worse one that I thought about, but
anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Previously on Blaze of Glory Holes. Blaster fire from 3 ships pursuing the Gloria. She tries to escape the planet of Nightfall. While Switch attempts to navigate the gravity wells of 13 moons orbiting Nightfall, Levi is hacking credentials to help aid their escape. Sally has disappeared into her lab aboard the ship to discover the secrets of the mysterious cube they have recovered. And Fitzy reaches into the way to help Switch execute their escape using some ancient technique that Mike sort of created and hand-waved together called the Pilgrim's Path. After a series of close calls, Switch hands the controls over to Fitzy and he pushes the Glory around one of the moons and hits the afterburners. And the Glory is away. What we get next is essentially a bottle episode with lots of activity we'd call downtime while the ship travels from Nightfall to their destination in the Iota system, Indri. Between Nightfall, they'll cross the Breck system and pass through a jump gate, a form of precursor technology that helps ships jump from one star system to another. While in transit, Fitzy gets some downtime with the mysterious cube and discovers that it's a navigational tool to a star system with 3 suns orbiting a planet at its center, and no jump gate. Meanwhile, Switch gets a moment to ponder his next planet-side time to indulge in pleasure and make a plan to acquire an asset once they reach Indri. Levi gets creative and builds a projectile device of some kind designed to deliver pharmaceuticals from a distance. He's built it for Sally, who seems way too preoccupied to do anything else this episode but study things in her lab. When the Glory finally arrives at Indri, Levi takes a quick moment with Fitzy's help to pull the nav data from the cube before they hand it over. Even though it's a success, Fitzy suffers from side effects that plague the precursor tech that's embedded in his head. It overloads, causing him to pass out, but not before he discovers that he can see a figure talking to him, while nobody else can. Meanwhile, a proximity alert goes off as the ship is approaching Indri. When the crew gets to the bridge, they find a huge ship hulking in their way and looking like it's ready to capture them as we fade in. Alarms are going off, sirens.
I'm pounding on the lab door, and I'm like, Doc, the space virgin passed out. He passed out.
He's a what?
A space virgin.
Hat.
Like, it's not the rule they have, right? They can't. Is that the thing?
I don't think so.
What? I don't know. He's passed out. We can't ask him. So he's a space virgin for the time being.
Okay. Let me check him out.
I think Switch was like taking us in, right? So he's probably up front. I see like this big ship in front. Are they hailing us or anything? Are they like tractor?
Nope. Yeah, there's just positioned in front of you, and there's this big gaping sort of like docking bay, like positioned in front of you, and they've just sort of like moved in front. Nobody is hailing you at this particular point.
I'm gonna like open a hailing channel to them then, and I'm gonna be like, hello? Can I help you?
You hear a deep, gruff laugh, and on screen pops this red-skinned Xeno individual with sharp, like, teeth, like filed teeth, just with a big smile, big grin smile, and what looks like a real interesting sort of, like, shaped pompadour on top of his head. And otherwise, his skin is, like, red, and his eyes are, like, sort of like this weird orange and red kind of a thing, and he's like, Switch! Long time. How you doing?
Hey, I'm guessing this is Nick's, right?
No, this is not Nyx.
No, this is not Nick's. Okay.
This is Boris.
All right.
You know Boris. Boris is a member of the Draxler's Raiders. So, Switch, last time you left the system, I told you, we'd catch up. Why don't you come on board and let's have a conversation?
Hey, look, I do like the new ship. I hadn't seen those that particular digs there. I think I'm more comfortable talking from where I'm at. Actually, I got a nice chair in here, a nice cockpit. It's Captain Switch these days. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, you know, and it took me a while to actually track that ship of yours down. That's a bold name you call it there, Glory Hole. That's just.
Look.
That's the best ship name in the whole goddamn universe, and you fucking know it, Switch.
The ship's name is the Blaze of Glory, but we don't have to get into that right now. What's going on? I'm not just gonna fly in there, let you. What do you think I am?
What do I think you are? I think you're somebody who's gonna, answer for that debt you owe me. You know the little one where I got you out of that little, like, cell some time ago, and you've been, kind of avoiding me ever since.
Look, I think we can make a deal. I think we can figure something out here. Why don't we meet down on the planet? We'll get some drinks. I know some great places down on Indri. We'll have a drink. I'll introduce you to my friends. I got a great team here, and you know what? I think that we can find a way. Let me help you.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a minute, and you feel the ship start to just like struggle a little bit against the engines as what feels like a tractor beam begins to engage. I'm going to give you a minute to accept my invitation. If you don't accept my invitation, then I'm going to have to get a little bit more forceful. And I really don't want to get forceful. You understand, right?
Look, we don't have to. There's no need for any of that, Boris. Look, well, I'm coming. We're coming on board. I'm sure everything will be tip-top. Look, like I said, this is all just a little misunderstanding. We're going to get this worked out, me and you. I have a real good feeling about our working relationship moving forward. I will be right there. And he clicks off the comms channel, and he radios the rest of the ship. He's like, so yeah, tell Fitzy to get ready. I'm going to need him to kill someone. Yeah, that's why we got him. Right?
The space version's asleep. He passed out. Something happened. I'm not sure. The doctor's looking right now.
I gave him some liquid candy. He'll be fine in several hours.
Why did you? Can I have some candy?
Sleep the muscle. We got these guys don't play around. This guy Boris, I mean, the Raiders, they're basically just pirates. I mean, they call themselves a fancy name, but they just steal stuff. But they'll be happy to kill you. So I thought Fitzy was going to help here. That was kind of my plan. Anyone else got any other ideas? We're getting pulled in to the ship.
Do you want me to send a virus over and fuck with their systems, and then nothing will work correctly, and then we just kind of go about our business?
The problem is that they've got really big guns on that ship.
Then I'll fucking target the weapon systems first, which will take out the tractor beam.
Are you sure that's how that works?
I don't know, but we'll fucking figure it out as we go. And I start typing up shit.
I'll give you more candy if it works.
It's gonna fucking work.
I tell you what, this guy, I think I can talk Boris out of it. I think I can make this work. Let me go
Okay.
talk.
How about
you
no? Because we have something on board, right?
Yeah, we kind of need the paycheck from that.
I'm with you, and we're not going to give him any of that sort of thing, but we do.
Well, what's going to say he's going to come on board and be like, well, this is mine, and this is mine, and this is
Well,
mine?
that's kind of the thing is, so, Levi, you know how when we first got the ship, you asked me where that down payment came from?
No, I didn't ask you that at all.
Right, you know how you didn't ask me where that down payment came from?
Okay.
Well,
Where did that down payment come from? I didn't know there was a down payment. You just had a ship, and I was like, oh, let's go.
Well, I mean, ships got to come from somewhere, and I got the money somehow, and we owe Boris a little bit.
Many space drugs am I going to have to make and sell to cover this?
So I'm gonna go talk to him. We'll figure a little something out.
What is a number? Give me a...
In the meantime,
You don't have a number.
it's gonna be a lot. You know what? Actually, Sally, if you come with me, I don't know. You got like some like candy you could give him that makes him like suggestible. We could like pretend we're offering like some sweets or something. And
I mean, like, if he wants money, like, I can fucking just go on the ship and then take the money from some sort of like funds somewhere, like somewhere credits are stored and transfer it over, going through, something like that. We can do that.
all right. Let's try to talk it out. In the meantime, Sally, we'll go talk to him. I think we can get this figured out. And Levi, you can hack up a little something to fuck with their shit, and if things go bad, we escape that way.
Okay. I'm gonna write a really bad one where the toilets are gonna overflow as well.
Oh well, that's why they call us the Wet Bandits.
Do people call us that?
I feel like you should know. You're the one overflowing their toilets.
I've never heard that name before. They literally call us the Wet Bandits.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that before.
Glory.
The
hole.
wet bandit, the
Wet
glory hole,
bandits.
the wet bandits who overflow the bathrooms all the time.
Yeah, so Switch hits the switches and does the spaceship flying thing and zooms in and
Sally's gonna go grab some candy. I do want to roll to see if they're effective or not.
You want to? Wait a minute. So you're going to grab candy, and why are you rolling to see if they're effective now?
Well, we could roll when we're there. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, great. Are you taking the new sort of syringe gun that Levi has hacked for you, or rigged?
I'm gonna leave it with him for now.
Oh, what? No, this is a gift, so you can shoot me from a distance with drugs. It's yours now. I don't want it.
With me.
I'm not good with the syringes, so you can.
But look, Sally, these guys are pirates. They're gonna expect you to be armed.
All right, I'll carry the gun and pretend like I know what I'm doing. She's going to be completely pointing it the wrong way the entire time.
Look, you open it, you put one of your syringes in there, you put it there,
Okay.
then you shoot. This is the end. You want to point at people and shoot it.
Can I
It's a little piece. It's
just
not a
one
rifle.
at him? I'm gonna shoot just one at him to test it.
Oh!
Oh, God damn it. He was supposed to be heck F. Forget it. He'll do better now.
That should make him hack better, honestly. It's fine.
All right, well, let's make it happen here. They're gonna be great. I think Switch like lowers the only word I'm coming up with is drawbridge, but gangplank. No, those are all wrong terms. Whatever. Lowers the thingy, the ramp. That's the word. And heads
So
down
good
into
at
the
space.
ship. Yeah, exactly. He's wearing his like long fancy coat, his fancy blue coat, and he's got a cigarette in his mouth, and he's looking very dashing space ne'er-do-well, if he says so himself. Sally, you're with me, right?
Mm-hmm. With my gun probably pointed at my foot or my knee or probably my face.
Is it a pistol or is it like a whole...
It's a
I'm
pistol.
assuming it's
Okay.
like a
Oh
pistol.
wait, did you
Like
want it to be
I
a
thought it was
rifle?
like a trank.
I thought it was gonna be like.
But yeah, honestly, like during the last episode, you gave input. So however you wanted to make it look.
Hold on, I got this.
Okay, she's got it.
It's like an Anna rifle.
She comes back with a tranquilizer gun. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sweet. I like that.
There's a little tube on the end of the where the handle is, the grip. Yeah.
Fancy. I love
You have a little compressor on your hip. That's right. It shoots compressed air.
It does because it's a Nerf gun.
No, well, I made you a Nerf gun.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, so we head down the gangplank looking very space badass. I hope.
I just want to say right now on the Spotify, because I got the Scum and Villainy list on there, which I'll probably put in chat here.
You should.
I shouldn't?
You should.
Okay, well, Marty Robbins' El Paso just came on. And this is not going to fucking end good.
that was a suggestion after listening to the playlist a couple times with my girlfriend. That was her suggestion, and I thought it was perfect. It just totally fit.
Fine.
All right, so you walk down the gangplank, and there's a couple of these pirates, these raiders, sort of hanging out, just kind of loitering, just acting nonchalant against the wall on the far side of the dock, just kind of like looking you over. Switch, describe to me for what these raiders, what is there like a standard uniform, or how do they identify themselves as working for Draxler?
That's a good question. I think, man, that's a. They probably have that kind of. I'm imagining a little bit like the Belter pirates from The Expanse, if you've ever seen that, where they've got these
totally.
kind of like this like jumpsuit, like navy kind of look to them, where it's like they all wear like a kind of similar outfit, but they look more like they're like dock worker, like former dock workers and like former like engineers and stuff that just kind of left with their gear, and maybe they've got like patches sewn here and there for like the different roles that they have in Draxler's organization.
Okay. And so as you're kind of, they're just kind of there in their jumpsuits, and they've got various kind of weapons on them. One of them's sort of picking his fingernails with a knife. One of them's human. One of them's definitely Xeno. Draxler's Raiders is made up with, they don't discriminate. They'll take anybody who's looking to make a good buck and up for a fight. So as you're kind of walking down, you can see some of the blaster and score marks, around sort of the dock area. And there's a little bit of a damage, but there's some hasty repairs that have happened. It's not really looking like this is a fully functional docking bay, but it's clear that whatever happened in that fight, they definitely tried to clean it up and make it a little bit better. They just haven't done a very good job about it. And so, one of them kind of waves you. The one kind of picking his knife, with his fingernails with his knife, and kind of waves you and starts to, go along. As the other one just sort of sits back. And this is the Xeno guy, and he's got like weird sort of tentacles things going on. He looks vaguely like what do you call it from D&D? I can't think of the name of him right now.
A mind flayer.
A mind flayer. I can't remember what the race name is. But anyways, like he's just kind of doing there, and he's just kind of sucking on something, and he pulls it out, and it's like some sort of weird fish thing, and he just kind of pops it back into his mouth. But he's not moving as the other one starts to lead you towards a door, an airlock.
Switch follows along with his usual kind of combination of hard to tell if it's nonchalance or just like a nervous energy. Or he'd be like, I could help you out. I know someone down on planet, great cleaning crew, very discreet. They could help you out with this. It's a nice ship, but it could use a little bit of a touch up. It's like following him back into the back.
And so he takes you to essentially through another hallway beyond the airlock, and then takes you to a lift. And the lift ride is really uncomfortable, and it's long. And after probably 30 seconds, he's like, "So what planet you guys coming from?"
Oh, we've been all over the place, here and there. You know how running jobs goes. Gotta find the money where you can get it.
Yeah, jobs.
Yeah, that little boat you guys have, that thing's nice. I was running in what essentially was was the equivalent of like a schooner, and it was tight in there. We were having problems. Is there a lot of room in that? What model is that?
Oh, look, we do okay. We do okay on the old Blaze of Glory. She's hold on. I know that we
Blaze
have...
of? I thought I heard Boris say glory hole.
Look, it's a bit of a mistake with the registry. You know how this bureaucracy is. She's a CF-350. It's a great boat. Look, if we can maybe show you sometime. You showing me the boss though?
Yeah, we're this. Look, we got this.
She holds up her basket of candy.
He's like,
she's pointing her gun at her head.
Are you a chef? Is this like a? And he starts to reach in.
Sally is our chef. She's also a stone cold killer. Be careful when she starts throwing that gun around. She is one dangerous woman, but I tell you what, she cooks up a hell of a brisket. So it doesn't matter. We love her aboard, and she does a great job for us.
Yeah, cooking. Good at cooking.
I tell you what, you have one of these candies, but really we can talk to the boss. Me and Boris, we're gonna have a quick chat. It's really gonna be lickety split. We'll get right out of here.
So he looks at the bag and kind of nods to you, or he looks at the basket or whatever, and he grabs an orange one and he pops it into his mouth.
Okay.
So sometime later I may ask you what an orange one actually means. But he pops it into his mouth and he's like, "Oh, that's not a bad taste. A little sour, but yeah, okay."
That means it's working. She whispers to Switch.
And the lift finally stops, and the doors open, and it is this incredibly large sort of, bridge. That's when you realize that Boris and the Raiders have really scored themselves something really nice here. This is a dreadnought class ship. It's pretty large.
This is fine.
And you're kind of looking around, you're going, huh. You can see that there are various, raiders sort of stationed, and they're some of them with their feet up on the, the deck, on the dash or whatever, and they're just kind of doing their thing. But you can see that there is quite a large red individual sitting, in what would be the captain's seat, and what looks to be like some sort of weird pompadour from the backside, and his skin looks vaguely red from the direction, but it's hard to see in the glare of the display screen. And you can see that there's plotting information, of star system plots, and then there's traffic information as well. You are just outside of Indri's sort of controlled, airspace essentially around the planet. So he picked you up. They picked you up just outside of what would be essentially planetary control, or the patrol of the planet. So, and he's just kind of sitting there, kind of looking at the display, and the guy kind of wanders up a little bit. He's starting to feel the effects of whatever it is that Sally's offered to him, and he's starting to kind of stumble a little bit. And he says, "Brought him up here, boss." He's like. You hear, "Oh, good, thanks. Go get a drink."
You want some candy, Boris? We brought you a housewarming present. I noticed in digs. I wanted to bring you something to celebrate.
I cook. She says very unconvincingly, hands him the basket of candy.
Sally, she's not the most talkative, but between that bullseye shot she's got, the cooking she does, she does it all. She does it all.
Boris slowly swivels and turns in the chair, and you're able to, as you're kind of walking closer to him, and you're able to get a good look at his pompadour, and you realize that the pompadour is actually sort of this weird sort of like growth horn thing that has been like ground and like carved in such a way that it looks like he's actually got hair, but upon close inspection it actually is like this weird sort of horn thing. And he kind of turns and he's like, "Switch! Look, I'm glad you brought me a friend. Thank you, dear. I do not partake of the pharmaceuticals. I'm very familiar with who you are and what's going on. So I appreciate the circumstance. I appreciate what you're trying to do. But my buddy there is going to go off and get a little bit of, his drink on and enjoy whatever ride you put him on. But I personally don't partake of those things."
To each his own. Personally, I love them. The crew loves them, and you met Levi, my buddy. He fixes the ship. I think you met Levi. He loves them. He was a big part of why I brought Sally on. Funny, and the shooting, of course.
Funny you mentioned Levi. I don't see him here. Where is the good old boy?
It's actually funny. We had a little incident. Our engines are a little bit screwed up. I hired this guy. He claims he is muscle, some sort of secret space priest, can bob and weave and beat people up. He
At this point, Sally's gonna elbow switch to like stop talking about our space priest.
No, space virgin.
He. All I know is he turned out to be a total goddamn traitor. He was a goddamn a traitor asshole. And, he stole a bunch of Sally's drugs. He broke the engine and it took off towards Indri. So, we got Levi fixing the ship and we're here talking to you and he's getting away. So that's what's going on there.
Sally just awkwardly grabs a handful of candy from the basket and puts it in her pocket.
But that's the real shame of it. Of it there, Boris, is, even if we tried to run away, we couldn't. Not that I would want to run away from you, of course, because we're going to do this excellent business deal, and your old friend Switch would not duck out on you.
Oh, I wouldn't imagine it at all. I mean, do you need any help? I mean, my boys are your boys. I mean, essentially that ship is like, like a second home to me. I mean, it's like you've got a mortgage out to me. So it's
it's not quite like that.
I don't know. I mean, can my boys come on and help you? Do you need one of the, is there some, I mean, come on. I mean, look, we're traveling in style here now. I've got some heavy hitters on this. This is going to become the flagship for the Raiders. I mean,
I can see that. You're clearly coming up in the world, and you've helped me so much. Boris, you've helped me so much. It's time for me to do a good turn to you. No more charity for your old friend Switch. I don't need your men. I don't need your help. Just, I tell you what, we'll go ahead. I'm very impressed with what you got here with this operation. I can do a little bit of consulting work. I saw some places I could actually fix things up for you. We'll point out some here and there. We'll get those contractors I mentioned to your boy in, clean her up, spick and span. Yeah, and we'll keep heading out on our way. You'll go do the flagship thing.
Listen, I understand how this business works. It's really easy for me to see through the bullshit. Okay, I get it, but I'm willing to play along for the most part. But see, here's the thing. I actually don't care about my money right now. I don't care about what's going on specifically with your little ship. If you've got a little bit of a problem or engine, you know what? Like I said, I'm willing to help, but I don't have a horse in this race right now because. And he punches something on the sort of the right, like arm, thing, and it's just like there's a couple of buttons there, and up plops a holographic display, and you see a sort of a 3D display of the glory, kind of popping there, just floating in it, and above it starts to read some technical information, and above that reads wanted, 500 cred, and there's like various like indications of like anonymous postings of people interested. So
Switch.
This is-
Switch. I don't think this is going well.
so there's this bounty here. I mean, that's...
Oh, come on, Boris. You're trying to tell me you don't have a bounty in a couple systems?
I do. Switch. Listen, buddy. And he kind of reaches up and does this with his pompadour sort of horn, and he just he's wiping it a little bit, just to kind of keep it nice and polished. You and me both. We've kind of come up in the same ways. I'm doing much better than you. I mean, look at this. I got all this, and you got all that, and
He is doing way better than you.
we ran through the same folks. We started, basically in the same place. But I had to move on, and the Raiders have done really well for me. So we both have, bounties. But see, this is the thing. I'm only worth 250 credits. And that's after being a notorious pirate with the Raiders. I mean, let's be honest.
You're only doing a bad thing better than him.
All right, look, I'll cut the bullshit, Boris. You've known me.
Please, I would really appreciate that.
I'll cut the bullshit. She's decided to take the kid gloves off. It's the society. That motherfucker out of Mem. She decided it was she wants to force me back into the fold is the long story short. And Madame Gordon, she knows that if she applies the right pressure in the right systems, it's only a matter of time before I end up back in Holt, and where it goes from there. That's my cards on the table. You've known for as long as I've known you. Gordon owns my hide, and that's just how it is.
That feels like a role of some kind.
I was hoping so. I feel like this is a sway. This is a pretty decent lie, because Madame Gordon of the Turner Society out of Mem genuinely does have a good reason to fuck Switch over, and this is like the kind of like pulling strings from afar type coercion that the Turner Society gets into. So I think it's a somewhat believable lie, more believable than me just saying why he should make me pay for no reason.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's perfect. That's a perfect type of role. Now, let's talk position.
Rip.
It's probably risky.
At least. I mean, he clearly has the advantage. He's not pulled any guns yet, but it's not like he doesn't have a lot of guns lying on the ship. but I don't feel like life is on the line here yet. So I think risky makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
But let's talk about effect.
Yeah, like how willing is he? So like this feels to me like the kind of a believable enough lie that another person who's like sort of in the know might be like more susceptible to falling for it.
Right. It's definitely not limited for sure.
Like I feel like this is a particularly like a good lie for Boris. Like it's a well chosen lie for the target. So I would think standard. But I would take great if I could.
I think standard is right because there's an element of having the same sort of like understanding the same group of people, understanding that the way that the sort of the politics and the social dynamics of that particular group work could play in your favor, but it also could play against you pretty strongly. So I think normal or standard sounds pretty good. All right. Do you want to take a devil's bargain? Do you want to push yourself? You get one or the other.
I've got something here. So I've got devil's own luck. I can expend special armor to push myself when talking my way out of trouble.
Okay.
Or running from trouble, but this time it's talking.
Right.
So I'll do that.
Okay, so that's one additional die.
And I didn't spend my. I know we're technically in downtime, but I didn't spend my special armor during the score, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, well, so you're basically in free play right now. So
okay.
the ability to invoke those kinds of things, and have it matter like in a resource capacity, usually only applies to the job.
Cool. Yeah, that works for me. But instead of taking the extra die, I would like to push for great effect if possible.
Okay, that works.
And then I don't know. It seems like Sally's a little bit more just kind of here than helping. But I'll let Sally say if she wants to help. That's totally
I do have 1 point of sway.
So yeah, if you expend stress, like, I mean, I think you. It's up to Johnny, but if he says,
down.
I mean.
Yeah, give me a general idea about how that's actually going to work. Like how is Sally going to reinforce whatever the lie that Switch is trying to present here?
I think like yeah, maybe he's like look, that's why I got this crew. Sally here, our gunman and cook. We got Levi fixing up the ship, and I thought I had some muscle before this fucker ran off on me, but I'm just trying to make back the money, get good with Gordon, and figure out what the fuck I do from there. That's why I'm more than happy to trade services here.
I have drugs that do less weird things.
She's got drugs.
Like, that could help, but not just the fun kind.
Look.
I am a doctor, for fuck's sake.
You guys know someone buying? Because apparently my gunman is also a doctor. I just found this out.
Right. I'm a gun doctor.
Right. Okay, so that's going to add the additional die there with that. Again, the one final question is, with the special ability, that's one thing. That's a thing you can invoke. Do you want to take a devil's bargain or even push yourself for more?
So I think that counts as pushing myself.
It does. Okay. All right.
Spend your special armor to resist the consequences of blaster fire or to push yourself.
Okay.
Yes,
great.
Just instead of spending stress.
All right. Perfect. All right. So roll it. That's what 2 dice.
Come out.
And 3. A 6.
Nice.
Boris just kind of looks at you. He's real quiet, and he kind of looks at you. And he looks at Sally.
What's up?
And he looks back at you. Man, you got balls. You have some of the biggest... That's one... I mean... And he starts to clap. That's one hell of a lie. That's really good. I mean... That's so good. I I gotta give you props. I mean, come on, the Turner Society, they're not gonna spend that much money for you. Really? And he hits another button on the display. And it's like you start to see information sort of pop up about who's putting the bounty out. And as it turns out, you see a name that strikes a little bit of fear into your heart. Because there's a couple of different names there, but the one that stands out to you is the Counters Guild. Now, according to this little thing right here, I mean, look, you keep selling that lie. That's a beautiful lie. Like,
do you really think Gordon is stupid enough to put it under her own goddamn name? She's been running that system for 10 years.
Do you think she's stupid enough to impersonate the Counters Guild?
I mean, look, she's crazy.
Look, man,
Who knows? Maybe she paid off the goddamn Counters Guild. I don't know what's going on here, Boris. What I do know is that the only person who cares about Marcus Switch Rackham is goddamn Gordon. And she's out of Mem, and newsflash, sounds like they're trying to pin me over there because I'm looking at that data and it says they got a bounty for me in Breck and Iota, and I'm guessing by the time I make it over to Rin, they're going to have a bounty for me in Rin.
He punches another button. More of the display hits. Switch, buddy. It's all of the local systems. They desperately want. And here's the thing. Again, I applaud you. I can't hold it against you. That's a brilliant story. And keep telling it because it's going to work eventually. I promise you it's going to work. However, there's this other thing. Along with it, in order to collect the bounty on you and the ship, and your little friend Levi and Miss Sally here. I mean, I don't know her personally. It's been a nice conversation. So, what is this about a cube? And with that, we're going to cut to Levi.
Hello.
Hello, Levi. What would you like to do?
I'm making a... Okay, so I'm making a script that is going to go after... it's a sundering script, and it goes out and nullifies weapon. But there's also a subroutine that gets added to it where it's called the Dutch oven, where it turns their life support and gives sulfuric smells throughout and converting part of the oxygen into sulfuric smells, but still breathable. And then and also a tsunami protocol, which overflows the septic and slow them down for a little while. And I'm like, yes. And I'm typing this up.
I like how I do something to make it so we can get off their ship, and you fucking clog their toilets.
All right.
Would cause a distraction.
All right. So each of those subroutine elements, I feel like you should roll a couple of different rolls, but I think pulling it under one just gigantic roll makes a lot more sense if, depending upon how you explain to me that you're doing all of this while they're on the ship. I mean, what is it? What is it? A drug? Is it a drug and music? Do you have like hackers on in the background? It's like the scene where they're like rollerblading down New York City streets. I mean, what is it? What is it that's just like kicking Levi in the ass to actually do this?
Well, currently, the music that's on is hold on. What is it? Here I Go Again by Whitesnake. And he's just like typing away. And like the series there looking at the script and then looking at him. And he's like zoning out, so he's not paying attention to what she's saying. And the space version's sleeping in the corner. And he's drawn a dick on his face. And he's like typing away. And just going about his business. And basically he's like taking like other pre-made scripts and like looking at them and then like converting them into like to trigger one after the other, kind of all going off at the same time, and writing this up. and then making and basically creating a huge diversion for everyone if we need to escape on the ship. And then now he's finding, but he realizes that this big of a ship, and it's the Raiders, they probably have their own hackers. So he very much is thinking about, what was it, Prometheus? From hacking. He's like, oh, and he's thinking about when they're all in the telephone booths and they're all like hacking away and it goes scene from scene. And he's so high, it's each version of him. There's like an Angelina Jolie version of Levi, and then there's a Zero Cool version of Levi. Then there's Serial Levi, and then Lord Nikon Levi, and he's like hacking and going through it, and he's just like, and typing away at this. And Siri is saying like, basically, she's like, "You're an idiot. Please look." And he like looks at the firewalls, and he noticed there probably is like a bunch of firewalls, and he's like, oh. All right. And he grabs one program, and this is his Wrath of the Leviathan program. And it is his program that he's typed up. It's using like a bunch of different like computer languages, and it assaults different things at once to create like a miniature doorway to send one code in, and then the Leviathan dissolves and goes back into the deep sea. And so that's what he has going on for this protocol. He's just waiting for, and this is probably the point where he's getting caught in the lie, and he's just like getting it rigged up to send into the ship. Yeah, I'm waiting for Switch to either talk his way out of it or Levi to be like, boop.
Okay, so to prepare all of this seems like a hack roll. Am I correct to assume that that's what you'd like to use as the skill?
Yes.
What would you like to do for position? Me personally, I'm thinking this is borderline desperate.
No, this is definitely desperate.
The way that you described it all, right? Like you were just like, this is all working out now. You're using this.
I'm high as fuck. I don't know if I typed this out right. Because I'm like on fucking Will Ferrell old school like tranquilizers right now. I'm like, and fucking then I have Siri yelling at me, which that's normal. But like the situations, my friends are in there. I need to get them out. I have to break through this firewall. I don't know if I can break through the firewall, but I damn well try. And if I can't, Siri is probably just gonna yell at me more and then call me piece of shit or something. But I consider this very desperate because like I don't know if I'm doing anything correct or if I've written anything. So, because I'm pretty high. I would also like to use my special.
Come on, keep adding it up. Add it on, buddy. Let's get it going.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I would like to do a devil's bargain.
All right. Well, hold on a second. So,
okay.
Desperate position. The effect absolutely is going to be great. I think there's no way I can hear an argument for anything less than great about this.
Mm-hmm.
So knock one on the attribute for that particular group of actions, because this is going to be desperate.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. So position and effect are desperate and great. You're definitely going to want a devil's bargain, so we're going to go with that last. You're using a special ability. What does the special ability do for you? Can you read it to me specifically?
You can expend your special armor to resist the consequences of hacking or push yourself when hacking or gathering info electronically. So I think it goes with the first one.
Okay, so based on the way that the previous role worked and the way that the ability worked for Switch, it sounded like in his situation he was using it in the situation to push himself, but the description seems very similar. So
Yeah, you can use it to push yourself.
Oh, okay. So I won't do that. I'll use the devil's bargain now.
Oh, but you will use the devil's bargain. Okay.
Yeah, I'll save the special then to push myself later.
Okay, sounds good. Trying to think if there's anything else. Given the circumstances of this situation, do you want to use a ship's gambit?
Ship?
So the glory gets a.
I know. I'm asking the ship. Should I use one? I'm asking for a group vote. Right now, Rocket in the Free World's playing.
This is fine.
We're fine. We're fine. How are you?
Okay, ship's gambit it is.
All right, fine.
I would say it's worth it because we're screwed if this doesn't work.
All right, sir. Roll it.
Okay. This is a hack.
Look, I've still got one more lie to try on this guy. I feel like I got robbed out of my 6, but that's okay.
Your lie landed. He's not going to do anything bad to you. He believed your story and loved, or he didn't believe your story, but he loved it. He thought you were ballsy. He's got an affection for you now. It's like, you know.
How many pluses am I getting? 2?
2.
2. Boop. 3, 3, 1, 2.
Oh, that's not what we needed on a desperate roll. That's not what we needed, guys.
Wow. Let me go. So I'm gonna go to the handy dandy rules reference sheet and take a look at what happens when you fail on a critical roll.
Yes.
Like this. This is
wait,
desperate.
Wait, hold on. Now you can use that special ability to resist the bad effect. Because you saved it.
You can use the special ability to resist the bad effect right now.
Resist the consequences of hacking? Wasn't that an option?
Well, I mean, like, I'm doing the devil's bargain, though.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Either way. Okay. Yeah, just let it go.
Right, I forgot to offer you the devil's bargain, so let's talk about the devil's bargain before we actually talk about the results here.
okay.
So previously, as a part of the devil's bargain, you left your credentials on Nightfall when you were hacking the security system. So those are like left embedded in the system, right? They attracted the attention of somebody that will come into play later. What's interesting about that is it also attracted the attention of a rival. So that rival is now going to come into play and start to mess with you. All right. Now let's talk about the failure. Given the elaborate sort of discussion about like all the things that went into this, especially with Rise of the Leviathan and everything else, Levi, what do you think is really an appropriate sort of failure scenario here? And think like grand scale.
That I didn't. This is what I was thinking about if I did fail. That I didn't wait. I didn't code it to wait for my signal. I hit the button and it just starts doing it.
No.
Levi, when there's a call to the bridge, there is a call to the bridge about some engineering problems that are starting to happen on this gigantic dreadnought ship. Can you give us the voice and the message of what that person actually says when they it breaks into the ship as we cut back to Switch and Sally talking to Boris?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
And it just like it broadcasts like all of a sudden there's like a crackle in the ship and go.
We have a code, Brown. Currently the toilets are overflowing and oh my, what the fuck is that smell? Oh. Sir, I don't know what's going. Our life support system is. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, and then it cuts out.
Well, that's. You can stick around here for just a second as he points to Switch and
I'm
Sally.
not sure I want to. It sounds like something's wrong with your boat.
you know, it's not kind of a request. I'll be right back. And he gets up, and as you can see him, he kind of stands up, and he's like 6.5 feet tall and just kind of lanky a little bit. Even though he's this big bulky guy, he moves like he's lanky, and he just begins to kind of move past. And it's at that point that you see that there are 2 blasters trained on you from a distance.
And that's where you hear over the radio. Okay, let me tell you right now. I may have made a great program a little too well.
How many?
Wait, this is going
on.
I'm sorry. I put a Dutch oven and a tsunami together to sunder the systems. I think you guys need to get the fuck out of there, or they figure it out.
Switch would have blasters on him and stuff, right?
Yeah, I've got guns, but
Okay, Sally's gonna do something really stupid.
Okay.
We're gonna make it worse.
Let's hear it.
Well, even though there's blasters trained on her, she's gonna know that she's been pointing the gun the wrong time the whole way, and she's gonna look the wrong direction and pretend like she's accidentally firing her gun at Mr. Mohawk. So she's aiming at him, but she's making it look haphazard, like she's an idiot, because everything else is going wrong. So she can make this look good. She's going to.
I don't think he's gonna be happier about him shooting him on accident.
I'm shooting him with drugs too, so we may need to.
Fair.
The rolls here.
All right. Well, I want to see if you hit him, and then I actually have an idea, like immediately after you shoot, if I can like notice it.
Okay. What kind of a roll is this? Like, what kind of what action do you think you're going to be doing to make this happen?
For Sally, I have 1 point in a tune. I feel like she's just gonna like sigh, like tune into herself and what she knows she might be capable of, and just pull that trigger.
Interesting.
You're trying to tap into the way to aim for you so that you don't have to use the scrap skill. I kind of love that.
I don't have my space Jedi, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not very good at this praying thing. I'm more of the scientist person, but this is all we got right now.
All right, I gotta ask the question because this will affect a couple of things. Is Sally on her own drugs?
I would
Getting high on your own supply.
I would say she's got one that's got herself a little heightened. That's why she keeps whispering, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but he's better than you. Like, she's very aware of everything around her.
She gave herself the uppers and Levi the downers.
Yes.
All right. Because of that, I feel like she's definitely going to have there's going to be some side effects in this in a positive and negative way. So, I'm going to say that I feel like because of that, she really is in control in this situation. Like, the position on this is control. Like, she feels like she's really got this.
Yes, she does.
Okay. There's no risk about this at all. She's going to do it.
So controlled?
So controlled.
Okay.
What do we think for an effect? Are we just focused on him, or is there a larger set of chaos that's going to happen here?
She's hoping that, because she loaded the gun with a couple of random things, but the first thing she put in was a sedative. So she's hoping to knock this big-ass guy out, or at least piss him off long enough for it to pump through his system and then knock him out. Okay. And she's hoping the guards will be more distracted by that than going straight for us right away. But it's, like I said, it's stupid. It could go bad.
Okay, it sounds like it's definitely a standard effect. So there's more going on than just localizing to him. Awesome. Now, do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
I'd be more into a devil's bargain for this one. I don't feel like she's trying to like maintain that control, maintain that like. All right, deep breath.
The drugs are gonna wear off at the most inappropriate time.
On him?
On you.
On me? Okay.
All
I
right.
can see everything. We're fine. Oh no.
All right. So you're gonna take it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. I have one final question. Does Switch actually think that he can actually offer an assistant here at all?
I feel like
I
this
don't
is
wanna-
gonna be
I don't
super
wanna
reactionary.
Yeah, I want to do something like as soon as like if and when this guy gets hit with the needle, I want to like do a thing.
Okay. So, I think that's what. Sounds like you've got 2 dice there. One for your attune, and one from the Devil's Bargain. So, go ahead and roll it.
So, how many bonus dice was that? Sorry.
I think you get 1.
1. That's what I thought. Okay. 3 and a 4.
It was okay.
All right. Describe what it's like as you just kind of like go from sort of this nonchalant to actually pegging him in the ass with this thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was probably aiming like haphazardly for his chest, hoping it would work faster, and hit it in the ass, which means it would take a moment or two longer.
All right. When it lands, he's like, "Oh, ow! What the hell?"
She elbow switched just ever so slightly.
He kind of looks at it and he starts to turn around, giving Switch a moment to do that before the consequence. So because that was a 4, it did land, but there's going to be a consequence that comes into play, which gives Switch a moment to actually do something.
Yeah, so Switch is going to pull out one of his fine sidearms. He's going to try to move forward and press it against Boris and like flip her around so he's got him like hostage style in his distraction, and then he's gonna be like, all right, I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot him. I just want to get off this goddamn ship. Just let us off this goddamn ship.
And you see the blasters, like they come out even more from more of the individuals on the bridge, but Boris is like, why, Switch, my boy, what's poking me in the, and he's starting to lose like the ability to speak coherently.
Look, your boss will be fine in just a couple hours. He'll have the time of his goddamn life unless I blow his goddamn brains out. We're getting off this ship. Otherwise, you're going to have to explain it to Drexler. You ready for that? Or you let me off this ship? What's it worth to you, boys?
They're not moving, but you see a little bit of hesitation, coming from them as, there's like some wavering about whether, they're going to be able to aim and hit you, correctly, easily or whatever. And so, go ahead.
Sally is wildly pointing her gun at them, like, they're next. What do you? Yeah!
I have a question for Sally.
Yeah.
Based on the description that Levi gave us last week, I'm curious. Did you reload the gun?
I think she loaded a few vials in there. She probably only has like 2 because she wasn't prepared to put things in there. So she has a sedative, and I haven't decided what the second one is.
Okay, I wanted to understand, what was available here. Okay, so you've got them all kind of like hesitating, and Boris is still like, Sweat, we go way back, man. This isn't. Even if I was gonna kill you, I'd show a little bit more respect.
Look, Boris, we both know that that's fucking bullshit. And we both know that once I'm gone, you're going to be a little bit hungover, but probably we're going to be okay after this. Unless I have to put a bullet in you because your goddamn crew is too stupid to realize that I'm not fucking playing around. Now, what are we doing?
And at that moment, as you're saying all of that, his nose on his weird alien red face kind of wrinkles a little bit. What's that smell? As we cut back to Levi.
Levi's like, okay, well, Because like I imagine Levi heard that whole conversation.
Yes.
So Levi was like, well, I guess I'll just do this. And then he fucking starts putting in the codes. He starts switching resignations, or not resignations, registers. So the registries of the ship, he's switching it. So they're becoming the glory hole, and we're taking on theirs. And then I'm pinging the glory hole, so everyone will come after this ship, and then we get the fuck out of there.
So it's
That's smart as fuck.
So there are two things that are going to happen here, and I'm gonna have you roll it. But as you're doing this, you're starting to kind of get all of this sort of like situated. You get the bounty information currently on the glory, and it reads as follows: 500 creds, Counters Guild, and hold on a second. There's one other.
Who the fuck's the Counters Guild? And he's like typing away.
They're important.
Yeah.
Counters Guild and another organization known as the Speakers are listed on this. They list information about the fight, the thing at night, the thing that happened at the Nightfall organization at the Proxium Museum, or the institution. It also mentions the cube, and of course, there's all the details about the glory, like embedded in this. Like they had registry information, and took lots of details. Like they were able to gather lots of details that you have otherwise tried to make sure didn't exist out there about it. So now that that's happened, now that you've got all that information, now you can start to execute on these things.
This is what I'm doing. Can I hack the bounty?
Would you like to do that as so what you've said is you want to switch the registry on the ship.
Yes.
Between the glory and this ship.
And this is how I want to change it, right? So after getting all that information, that kind of gives me a better idea where the focus is. So when I switch the registries, I'm just switching the codes, but keeping the ship types the same, and the names are switching. And then I want to hack the bounty, where it will change it to a dreadnought class ship, and take the credentials from that ship and put it into the bounty.
Okay. All right. Let's roll on the first one. That one is just ship to ship, so that doesn't seem.
I think that's risky. I agree with that one. The next one's going to be desperate because I'm probably going to have to dig deep on that one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The effect, I think, is going to be limited unless you can argue that it's going to be more than that. Because you're only changing identity. Say what?
We're changing the. So we're literally taking the codes and switching them, right? The registry codes. And then they will become the glory hole, and then we'll become whatever this shift name is, right?
Right.
And then I'll change it later. But.
The song when we go into full escape and fuck shit up mode is definitely Anarchy in the UK.
Okay.
Starts playing while everything starts going to shit.
Hold on. Where is that song?
I linked it.
Oh, did you? Where'd you link it?
He links it in chat.
Okay, hold on. Let me flip that. Let me play that. Pause you. Play. No, fuck you.
Uh-oh.
I gotta do. I'm not logged in my browser.
Oh no.
There we go. There we go. Oh, that's the demo. Where's the actual song? Here we go. Okay, so let's do this roll.
So it's going to be risky and limited. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
Let's take a devil's bargain. No, actually, no. Let's not for this one. This one's too simple.
Okay.
I figured I did one devil's bargain. I don't want to keep doing devil's bargain all the time.
They're fun.
You can always push yourself for 2 stress, remember?
You can.
Can I push myself for this one and then do push myself for the next one?
You sure can, but you would be pushing yourself or taking a devil's bargain. Neat thing about pushing yourself is that it can give you an extra die, or what it can do is it can change the level of effect. Like it could make it larger than like a limited, which is what it currently is right now.
So I don't think I really can't argue for it to be more than it is right now.
Okay.
Because limited, because like I'm not unless I'm like I'm encrypting the change, or let's make it great. Where it's pushing the stress, right, and not adding a dice.
Standard, not great.
You can only go to standard. You can only go 1 level up, basically.
Oh, is standard the best?
No, great is the best.
It goes limited, standard, great, extreme.
Okay, it's in a different order on the thing. Yeah, so we can go standard. What I'm gonna do is that they don't notice the change. That's what I'm pushing the stress for.
Okay, that works.
Okay, and that's it. So here we go.
Okay, go for it.
Let's do it.
Wow. Okay. All right. So the registry information begins to switch between the two as you see that the ship is now called. What was the dreadnought called, Levi?
Oh, the dreadnought would. Who's the name of the ship?
The
guy, captain?
Boris.
Boris, and he's a what race?
He's a Xeno. It's not really kind of clear. They're like red skin. They've got really weird eyes, and they've got like horns on the top of their head.
And he's part of the Draxler Raiders.
Draxler's Raiders. Yeah.
Draxler's Raiders. He is not Draxler. Like nobody has seen Draxler in a generation.
I want to say, what's a good one that you could call it? Oh, god damn it. You guys have any good ideas? I fucking hate naming shit.
You guys can come back to me about the name. So we'll just say that the registry information is starting to switch. Come back to me about the name. But as that's happening, there's a little voice that says, that wasn't too bad of a hack. And that was Siri just acknowledging for just once.
I'm really fucking high.
Actually, no. This is perfect. I was just looking it up. Draxler's Raiders are all about anarchy. So that's totally coincidental, but the ship's name is definitely Anarchy and Iota.
Anarchy and Iota?
Yeah, because that's what the name of the system is. Where they sell the
Anarchy and Iota. I like it because that's what song's playing. Okay.
Exactly. It works with the song. It works with the faction that were apparently fucking with their ship, and yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Let me. What's the next song we're gonna play here? No, not this one.
Okay, that's that one song's definitely out, I guess.
No, Jailbreak, Thin Lizzy. For
there
the
you
next
go.
one.
There you go.
And so, I'm gonna for the next one, I'm going to hack. And this is desperate. I'm gonna what? Not that's too much.
You're gonna hack the bounty, right?
Gonna hack the bounty, which is gonna. I'm gonna use. I imagine there's like ship hooked up to our ship right now. But what I'm gonna do is go through the dreadnought and use it as a proxy, and then fucking use the strength of their signal to break into the coin collectors, whatever the fuck they are.
The Counters Guild.
The Counters Guild, and like. And then, as well as where the bounty's held, and using that signal, using their footprint to hack into it, and then changing the information. Okay.
Desperate sounds great as well. Like as for the effect, push yourself or take a devil's bargain.
I'm gonna push myself using my special armor.
Okay.
And you may expend your special armor to resist. I'm pushing myself, so I'm adding a dice to this.
Okay.
So let's hack it. Is this give me one extra dice?
It does.
Okay.
Can't hear you, Sam.
It's either die or effect, whichever you choose. But
I'm gonna do die because I probably need the die. Would this be extreme?
It could be extreme because it could affect larger than just the local star system.
Yeah, that like I'm going for like this information's gonna like spread.
Then do extreme if you want.
Okay. All right. Can I spend a ship's gambit, or I can't do that again?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to say at this particular point that this is going to evolve into basically a job. You guys getting away from this and we're going to treat it as just another like job/score kind of a thing, and you guys are looking at downtime after that. So yes,
sure.
So please go for it and add that as well.
Okay. So it's 2 dice.
Yes.
Okay. Let's add it. All right, everyone. Hands in. Hands in. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ha! 3, 2, 3, 2, 5.
5 is okay. We can do it with 5.
5. All right. The hack begins. It kind of filters out, into like their ship system, and you watch as the registry information on the actual bounty shifts and says, it displays the dreadnought information, displays all the other little things that are kind of going with this, and all of it begins to change. And I'm going to add a little bit of an extra element to it as well that you neglected, which is you remove the mention of the mysterious artifact cube as a part of it. Right?
Okay.
And so that sort of just like it gets removed, and that begins to kind of propagate out into the system, and it goes. You can see as you can like watch it on the network as it just kind of pushes all the way through to all of the systems and stations of the IOTA system, and then you watch it continue to start to spread out, and it takes time to get between those star systems, so it takes a little bit longer in that broadcast. But as that is happening, there's a little terminal window that pops up, and it says, "Long time no see, Leviathan," as we switch back to...
Damn it!
All right, Sally, switch. Bridge, you've got Boris. What are you guys doing?
I'm just starting to like walk out, and like if these guys do anything, I'm gonna fucking shoot this guy. This is my hostage. I'm getting out of here.
Wow, it feels so. I'm getting all tired. Look, the switch. Come on, my boys. I don't want them to shoot you. I like you. I
don't want to shoot you.
I'm gonna put a song in the chat right now. This is totally what just came on after the last song.
Do it up.
It is Kenny Loggins' "Danger Zone."
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So the danger zone kicks on, and Switch is like, I don't want to shoot you either, but I goddamn will now. I'm going, and he's like, we're walking towards my ship. We're going. If these guys do anything, we'll go from there. Blasters
are starting to kind of raise as they're really kind of getting ready to take aim. I'm gonna need some sort of roll here to kind of figure out what happens next.
Yeah, so he's just gonna look at them and he's just gonna be like, "What? You think I'm fucking joking? You think I'm not gonna shoot him? You think you gonna explain to Draxler what happened? That you let this happen? I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna kill him and get the fuck out of here. Are you ready to explain that?" And then, I'm gonna try to sway these people to let me go in exchange for not killing their captain.
Okay, this seems like a desperate role to me.
Okay, sure.
Unless you can argue why it would be something less.
I mean, I was feeling like risky. Like I feel like I'm in a pretty good position. Like I have a hostage that they should care about. Like I assume that this guy's crew at least like gives some of a fuck about him.
Okay, we'll call it risky.
All right, cool.
What about the effect though? I mean, this is it seems kind of standard. There's a lot of guys in this particular room, right?
Yeah, I don't think above standard.
All right.
I literally, all I want is for this to get us as far towards my ship as possible. If we can get on the ship, great. If we can just get out of this room with these armed guards, then Switch at least can get to the next part of the plan. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely thinking like one step at a time right now.
Sure. All right. Pushing yourself, doubles bargain.
Yeah, I'll definitely push myself for the stress.
Okay.
For the die.
All right. And
This is a bad enough situation right now for no devil's bargain, so it'll
Totally.
be okay.
All right.
Is Sally's pointing her trank gun wildly helping me?
Yeah, I don't know.
It could. I mean, they saw what she was doing to Boris, and Boris is definitely beginning to exhibit the effects of the drug, whatever the drug is. So
it's all if Sally wants to spend stress.
it's only she wants to spend stress. It's up to you.
I'm down.
All right.
Nice.
So she spends the stress, and you get the extra die and roll it.
6.
You say that, and again, they're kind of their guns are kind of waving, and finally Boris is like, you know what, I like this guy. Let him take me. I'll go down with them. And he tries to turn a little bit. Look, let's just go. We're gonna go down.
All right, we're going. Sally, come on. Don't kill any of these guys. I know you're raring to go. We're getting off the ship.
Will kill
Let
you
me
so
set her
hard.
up. She'll kill you. You heard.
And they're just kind of like their blasters are all dropping. All right, boss. We'll see you in a minute as the blast doors sort of close as the lift begins to descend. And Boris is like, he just, you kind of let him go, and he just kind of leans back against. And he looks over at Sally, and he's like, "Wow, that's some good stuff. You got any collapses?"
Sally's gonna take out a notebook. When you get back to your palace thing, take a purple one, or you're going to be shitting yourself. P.S. Your bathrooms are broken. And
Yeah,
she
we'll
puts
just
it into his pocket.
You just like leave the thing of candy just on top of his unconscious chest.
No, I'm keeping the candy. I'm gonna make him go
Okay.
back to his throne room for the purple one.
Oh, you left it in. Okay, perfect.
I only took a handful. What?
Nice.
I'm keeping this. He has to walk so he doesn't shit himself. I'm not walking it.
Look, hey, he tried to capture us. It's not our fault that he's gonna have the shits as a result.
It's damn right.
Yeah. So yeah, we keep going.
Doors open. You're back in the bay, and it smells horrible down here. Like, it is just rank as fuck. And it has affected this squiddy sort of Xeno, because his olfactory senses just were overwhelmed, and he kind of passed out, and he went from being sort of this purplish blue color to sort of this sort of weird paisley kind of color as he's just kind of twitching there, you're able to kind of get back on the ship.
Yeah. As soon as we get on the ship, Switch is gonna head right for the cockpit. Or the bridge. I guess we probably have a bridge on our ship. It's large enough, eh?
Sure.
And he'll be like, Levi, I don't know what the fuck you did, but we got to get out of here right now. Can
I did a lot of things. I'm pretty fucking high.
I can tell. It smells goddamn awful. Whatever you did.
Oh, I did shit after that. We got to go.
All right, well, give me some engines. We're getting ready, flipping switches and.
Oh.
All right, so as you kind of you begin to maneuver the ship out and around, you can sort of feel the dock or the tractor beam just kind of still kind of holding on to you a little bit, and then you hear "You're welcome" in your ear, Levi, as the tractor beam just kind of disables, and it was the voice of Siri as she hacks the tractor beam, allowing you guys to kind of exit this docking bay and continue to venture around. And as you're kind of pulling out of the docking bay and kind of taking a look at the dreadnought, it's a gigantic ship. It's one of the hegemony's smaller sort of space naval vessels. it's still a pretty gigantic ship in comparison to the Glory. And as you're kind of like able to kind of navigate around, there's also some weird like running light things kind of going on. And that's when it starts to ping its new identity as the Glory Hole. And it just kind of pops up on your display switch as you are, you know, you're kind of pulling away. You know, you can see that the display is letting you know that the Glory Hole is now sort of coming behind you as you begin to move towards Indri airspace.
I would like to add, this is when Siri is like, you guys like look at the display and like you see a scoreboard where like Levi has like 1 gets added and there's like 3, and then Siri has like a bunch, and she scrolls all the way down and then adds like another tally to her side. So 1 for me getting the crit hack during the thing, and then her turning off the tractor beam and showing how much better she is than me. And I'm like, no, okay, you're fucking making up points now. So I did a thing. I may have hacked a bounty. And that bounty is now linked to that ship. And there's no mention of a cube anymore. And that's spreading around the system. We're also IOTA, or Anarchy and IOTA now. And we are, there's a lot going on. People aren't looking for us anymore. They're looking for shit. And
Anarchy and Iota. Who came up with that piece of shit name?
now fucking whoever lives on that ship. Who was it?
Wait. Didn't the guy say that he had a bounty too? Is that attached to his ship or him?
Oh, Boris is definitely going to have more than 1 bounty. We're definitely going to want to dump this ship ID when we get a little bit farther out. But I think it was a good goof. It was a good goof.
I know. I just had to switch something right then and there. I fucking have the other one. Hold on. And then I just go and start typing a bunch of shit and like start changing the registry from the IOTA to the Glory Hole 2.
So
okay, we got our episode name next week. Glory Hole to Electric Boogaloo.
The second. All right.
No. Glory Hole 2, Galactic Boogaloo.
All right, so as that's all going on, I have a question for Levi. You were talking about the scoreboard display for you and Siri. That displayed for everybody to see, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just before that sort of flashes off to the screen, there's a 3rd column that appears. And there is 3 sort of question marks at the top. And there's a notch of 1. And it vanishes. And you see another, terminal window kind of pop up. Be seeing you soon, Leviathan.
Who are you? And he's not even typing. He's just yelling at this chat window.
As the Glory begins to make its way towards Indri airspace. So talk to me, Switch. Talk to me a little bit about the approach into Indri airspace. And as we're doing this, we'll then transition into downtime and talk a little bit about the actions that go along with that. But talk to me about the approach into Indri.
Well, he set up this asset retrieval with Nick, so he's probably like going to like a some sort of like smaller shipyard that's because we have an in-atmosphere ship, I think, right?
Yes, you do.
I thought we did. Okay. So yeah, he probably has like kind of a smaller, like more private shipyard near like one of his like bookie locations. Or like maybe he does. He's probably the type that really like isn't like a money lender out of like a bookie shop, but you would be like the type to like own clubs and bars and stuff maybe. So like yeah, maybe we like kind of park in a location that I know he helps either partners with or operates. And I'm like, all right, guys, I think we should be relatively safe. As safe as it gets on Indri. This place is a shithole.
I think we should get rid of this fucking cube as fast as possible. Because fuck it. This thing's causing a lot of problems for us.
Well, I normally agree, but 500 credits Levi, I think we stumbled on something real, and based on what
I got all the fucking data that we want from it. Let's just get rid of the fucking cube.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll. I mean, we got to meet the buyer, so let's get rid of this thing.
I've already hailed them. I've already hailed him, and I was just like on my personal account. I was like, Len, where are you?
All right, and so that's where we'll sort of fade out for just a second, and we'll go into downtime. So that essentially was your second score, guys, or your second job. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about that, and then we'll get into downtime activities and stuff like that. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about payoff. What do you guys think? This was a pretty significant sort of thing that you got going on here. It was a pretty big faction that you guys were dealing with the Draxlers.
But I'm not sure we got much.
Right, but
other than our lives.
I think we got cred. Like, I mean, like, not credits, but like credibility.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially like Levi hacked fucking system-wide bounties and changed that shit. So if anyone ever found out about that, that's pretty ballsy. But like that was their flagship, or going to be their flagship, and we turned it into a shithole and booted it.
Exactly. So there's that. There's also the fact that, Switch, you mentioned that the Turner Society is where both you and Boris hail from. They're still technically tier 2 at this particular point, and Draxler's Raiders are tier 3. So you guys took on a pretty sizable sort of faction here. That, I mean, and you, as Boris kind of alluded to, this is their flagship, and basically Levi turned it into a shithole. So
it's not the glory hole; it's the shithole.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we get some cash from it in the form of just like kind of street cred type currency, where it's like people like kind of want to join up and like know us, and so we can spend it in the form of like favors, etc. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, so the way that cred works in the game, and there's it really does kind of equate to that. It's not necessarily just straight cash, right? It's how you're sort of trading on your reputation and on your resources.
Okay.
That's generally how the cred works. Again, think of like the John Wick analogy of the way that one coin represents one job. Part of that is based on reputation and the ability to. You might pay John Wick 2 cred if he's gonna, or 2 coin if he's gonna kill somebody for you, because he's just that damn good, right?
I would say then probably like 6, and I would go up to 8 if we had like gotten something valuable from them. But I think just like, I think being able to parlay off of like messing with Draxler and like being able to contend with the tier 3, that feels right to me, like a medium score.
So
that's 6, right?
So 6 is a medium sort of score, or medium job, or standard job. I think there's an element to think about this that would play into the argument of 8, and I would say it's Levi's actions about basically not only hacking a Raiders sort of like network and ship, he basically stole their ship's identity. That's a pretty big deal, right?
That's a good point. I forgot. All right, yeah, 8 seems right then. I hadn't thought of that. That's like the very much.
And we gave them our shitty identity because he was like, "We're only 250. Now they're worth 500."
Well, and
Sally shot somebody. She's never shot anybody before.
I hadn't thought of that.
Pretty ballsy move on Sally.
Resource.
Yeah.
That's a massive resource for us to like be able to use later in the. Yeah, that's big. I agree. All right, 8 seems right.
Okay, before we go, I want to roll a study on what's his face that took the drugs. That's part of the.
Oh, to see how bad it was.
Yeah, let's see how bad it was, and that may affect actually this as well. So.
People will know how. Strong
What effect do you think?
Well, you said shit his pants.
No, that was the main guy. I'm talking about the guy that walked us in that took the drugs, because I decided what.
Oh, what color was it?
Orange.
Orange?
Yeah.
I think orange is like vibrant, maybe hallucinogenic.
I was going for he's going to be highly addicted to that, and there was only a limited number of them left.
Oh God.
I'll send your dick for orange candy. he oh, and he relapses every time he sees the color orange.
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
I would say it's not like super effective, but it happens to him occasionally.
It definitely is. It definitely needs some work. The next time you give somebody an orange, it's going to be much better.
Yeah.
All right, so
Use that formula.
all right, so that's 8. That's 8 cred to you guys. You guys can divide it up and of course deal with all of that after the upkeep. And what's the upkeep on the ship, Switch?
It's just the one, if I
All
recall
right.
correctly.
So that's
we'll pay that.
Yep, and that's also 7 to the crew at this point, or 7 the crew or the ship, however you want to do that.
I think it's only fair if Mike gets 1 and the rest of us get 2 because he wasn't here today.
He gets nothing.
Okay. Then we each get 2 and the ship gets 1.
Yeah.
Because Fitzy wasn't part
He
of the
was
score.
passed out. He didn't help at all.
Good.
I'm putting him in the stash though.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna take my 2 because I only have 3 credits total so far.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's talk about heat, guys. And this is really about exposure. How badly did you guys reveal yourself?
I put our credentials on the other ship and then started pinging the beacons. So pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not great.
Well, sure. So you've definitely made it. You've definitely done some like definite exposure. That's what we'd call devastating and bordering on what they call wild or 6 heat. Here's the thing. That also is an element of sort of like distraction. So is this sort of like deferred exposure, or is this like long-term sort of like you've done yourself some serious damage?
I feel like it helps us because it gets them thinking about like the Raiders. If anything, they'll be like, "Oh, this is just like an attempt by Draxler to like cover his tracks."
Sure,
thing.
absolutely. All right. So does that mean that we're dropping this down to 4, loud and chaotic, or is there an argument for reducing it a little bit? And this is just a base line of heat that we're talking about here. We haven't even talked about the value adds, that are next.
I'm gonna argue for this. I'm gonna argue for 2 because we made a big high stakes roll to cover our tracks and to like cover this bounty, which was a big part of like what like our whole like heat was about. And then B is the only people who can out us are people who look terrible by admitting who it was that got it over on them. Because if Boris tells people he looks bad in front of his crew, he looks bad in front of Draxler. If Draxler tells people, Draxler looks bad in front of the entire system or the entire like local group. Like nobody wants to like admit that these plucky group of nobodies like screwed them over, got away scot-free, and like assigned the bounty to them.
Okay, so I agree with you on the baseline of doing it as 2 then. So it's definitely contained. Here's where the value adds come in. High profile or well-connected target or public use of artifacts.
Yeah.
Draxler's Raiders is definitely a high-profile target. They're a level 3 faction essentially, or a tier 3 faction. So they've got a wide variety. So even if the hegemonic like organizations don't know, the underworld's going to know a little bit. There's an element of the criminal that's going to be here. So I think that's definitely a +1.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
So here's the other one, and this is up for discussion. Levi was contacted by somebody who called him Leviathan. That also, to me, feels like an element of exposure, potentially a well-connected target.
You're talking through my robot.
Yeah, I mean that seems fair to me if you think so.
All right. So if everybody's in agreement, that means that you guys get 2. You're contained, but you also get +2 to your heat. So that means you end up with 4.
So what's max heat? Because we're at 8 right now.
Max heat actually is, I believe, 6.
Oh no!
Hold on a second. I'm double checking it because your wanted level is gonna go up if that's the case, right? So let's look at the start answer, and there should be an indicator for heat on there, which I do not see.
I didn't see it. That's why I've been marking it in like the notes section. You see, I wrote 8 heat down because we had 4 before.
That's really interesting that it's not on the character sheet. Is there, or it's not on the crew, the ship character sheet? Is there on the individual ones?
What am I looking for?
Where
It's called heat,
it's definitely not on that sheet.
and it's not on the player sheet either. That's really weird.
But
So let's
see.
just mark it down on the notes right now. It's not going to have an impact right now. We'll resolve it later.
Well, I just want to know if we need to lower it during this downtime. That's the main reason I ask.
That is a fair question.
All right,
Well, we have the
I'm looking up
other-
the rule.
Alias we're hiding under, so
You do have the alias that you're hiding under for sure. So that is actually going to have an effect in the oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Also, them going after.
When our heat reaches 8 in a system, you get a 1 level and clear your heat. Any excess heat rolls over. So if your heat was 7 and you took 4, you reset to 3.
Right, it's system specific. I
Wide.
forgot
So
about that.
We have 4 in Breck and 4 in Iota now.
Right, so that's correct.
Okay, that's why you keep a track of it here instead of having a track like.
How do we lower heat?
We spent downtime actions.
You spend downtime actions to do it.
So we can do that after this, but we're probably gonna run up on time here.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the wire. So what we'll end up doing is we'll get through entanglements. We'll talk about getting set up for heat, and then we'll just kind of close it out
Cool.
with a little bit of something. Okay, so all right, so you've got 4 heat in Breck, and you have 4 heat in Iota now. That's something to be proud of, guys. You're kind of sort of interested in 2 systems, so cool. All right.
Yay! On to the next system.
Exactly. All right, so I'm going to do the wanted roll in this particular system off screen, and then they'll surprise you. And let's talk a little.
We didn't get a wanted level though.
You did not get a wanted level, but you will. There will be an entanglement roll.
Oh, yeah,
at
entanglement.
wanted 0, right? And those are system based at this particular point. So,
Got it.
all right,
Cool. Awesome.
nice. So, let's talk a little bit about downtime. We're going to close off with a little bit of narrative as we kind of get into this. But next episode, what we will do is we'll start with downtime once we kind of leave where we hang off. I'm going to say this very, very quickly for Sally. She didn't get to do downtime for the last score, so you'll get to do double the amount of downtime, which means you get a minimum of 4 downtime actions, and we'll talk about a little bit about that off screen, so that you can prepare for that. And then so when we go on screen, we'll kind of do that. And is everybody good with doing downtime actions sort of at the start of the next episode?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, cool.
Sally, just a heads up, you may want to look at on 184. There are some options, and the reason I mentioned you may want to look at it specifically is because your character is going to be particularly good at crafting and long-term projects. So you may want to, if those are things you're interested in, they're a little bit more involved than some of the other actions, but not too crazy.
She's muted.
She's not muted. She was just...
I'm not
Yeah, just writing it down.
writing it down.
All right. So as we kind of fade through that, you guys did incredibly well with that new particular job. Levi, your phone lights up.
Hello.
What do you want? Do you have the package? Did you guys actually get it?
Oh yes.
All right. Are you gonna bring it to me, or do I have to
Wait,
actually come?
No, I'll fucking bring it to you. I want to get rid of it.
Why? I saw there was some pretty freaking big heat on you guys about this, and all of a sudden it was
Oh
gone.
no! Go look at it again.
And you hear some like tapping on a display, and oh well, that's a neat trick. You're gonna have to teach me how to do that.
Oh no, that costs money.
No. It doesn't cost me. No, it doesn't cost me money. You owe me.
but you
Levi, you owe me.
Okay, this is the deal. All right. I'll teach you how to do it, but you have to sell it to other people and I get royalties.
Has Siri been negotiating for you again? Haven't we had this conversation before?
Well, I need to fucking, pay for my food and lodging. That's what we'll call it. Okay, so
Drugs.
All right. Fine. Where do you want to meet?
And now I'll send here Siri 15%.
Well, where do you want to meet?
I meet you at your place.
Look, your little like activity, even the little flourish of time, has caused me to have to like stay away from the home territory right now.
Rendezvous at 37.
Club 37?
Yes.
Aren't you a little old to be hanging out at an entertainment complex for kids?
What? No one's gonna fucking suspect we're going on there. No shady business going on at the fucking, Space Cheese, Chuck E. Cheese, or whatever the fuck they're called now.
Fine. Just do me a favor. No drugs. And that's where we'll end it.
Perfect. Perfect.
I hang up the phone. He said nothing about booze.
I'll make you look like booze, and she just goes back into her life.
All right, let's go around the table real quickly since we're running late and then get the hell out of here. Why don't we start with Sally? Go for it, Cherry.
Hi, I'm Cherry. I should be doing some GTA RP tomorrow afternoon because my internet doesn't work at night.
Where are you doing it?
I am doing it at Cherry the Bomb on Twitch.
No. Oh yeah. Okay. So
But Fam RP, if you're interested in which community, come hang out.
Okay.
We're gonna get into some trouble.
All right, awesome. And next up, let's go with Levi. Go for it, McLokin.
Hello, I'm McLokin. I also do GTA RP, but I do it on Twitch RP. I play 3 different characters. I play the head of our sergeant in the CID, which is a detective. Then I play Levi, who's a hacker in that. And then I play Skittles, who is a canine dog. So I have fun doing that. But yeah, you catch me at twitch.tv/McLokin. And we'll do fantastic things. I think I'm bringing back Drunk Card on Fridays. So if you guys see me on Fridays and you have a Switch Mario Kart, I put up a tourney code and you guys can join us and get shitty and play Mario Kart.
Nice.
All right, last but not least, we'll do go with Sam Switch.
Hi, I am Sam, twitch.tv/WizenFool, Twitter @TheWizenFool. I had an absolute blast as always. This game has been so much fun. And yeah, that moment where we were talking and Sally kept being like, he really is doing better than that, man. That was fucking killing me. That was so good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for playing. And yeah, I appreciate it. I'm excited to be back next week.
I can't wait to tell Mike all the stupid shit that we got into.
Are you kidding? He's going to watch this. He's going to have to edit it down. He's going to have to give us a hard time about it. Oh, and the fact that he didn't get any creds, it's going to be a big thing.
He was asleep, okay?
He's asleep. He's also going insane. Remember, he's got a voice in his head. And, he's seeing some fat, weird bald guy.
So literally, Levi, this is one thing Levi would turn to him, be like, "We tell Fitzy nothing. We just landed. We had a good time. Nothing else happened. He won't know anything the wiser."
That goes, "You don't understand how that works, right?"
Yeah, it'd be fine.
All right, and I'm Johnny. I'm Video Store Cowboy. I am currently running production for this, and I'm also the GM here for this particular show. You can find me on my channel. I'm Vid Store Cowboy on Twitter and blah blah blah, all that cool stuff. This is unMadeGaming's channel. They do Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm stuck on this West Coast thing. Follow for the channel. Thanks, guys. We're not gonna raid anybody tonight because I don't actually have the access and ability to raid anybody. So we're gonna take just a lovely sort of goodbye, and we're gonna move on. So with all that, thanks everybody, and have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.